Hello, everybody, and happy Thankful Thursday to you. My name is Terlisa Gardley-Brown, and I am your host of Victorious Living Talk Show. And we are starting a special segment titled Educate and Elevate. And in Educate and Elevate, it's empowering everyone with knowledge and understanding so that we could begin to equip and learn the process and the power of starting your own business. We have everything that we need in our community. We just don't talk about it. So what we're going to start doing in this segment of Educate to Elevate, every month, we're going to start featuring business owners, and the business owners will come on and talk about their business and their services. And in regards to them talking about their business and their services, then we will be able to promote. We will be able to also create the barter system within our community as well, and we will be able to get things moving. So tonight, I do have a special guest. Her name is Theresa Gardley. She is the owner and broker of Signature Gold Real Estate. I'm waiting on her to come on live now so that we can go ahead and get the show started. She has a wealth of knowledge. As I mentioned, she is an owner and broker of her own company, and she's been in business for several, I would say about 25, maybe 26 years. Now, don't think I'm not being favorable, but she is my cousin, so I thought I'd go ahead and let everyone know that. But definitely looking forward to having her on the show so that we can answer questions that you may have about real estate. It's really not difficult. It just seems that way because it's such a huge step and it's a long-term commitment depending on where you are in the process. So welcome everyone to Victorious Living Talk Show. And again, this is the segment of Educate and Elevate where we're empowering everyone with knowledge and understanding. I do see a couple of people out there. Hello, Aunt Gloria. Hello, Orlando. And I see my cousin Theresa out here in Presley. I see you too. So thanks everyone that is joining. And I'm bringing my cousin on her business and we can create awareness in our community. Again, we have all of the resources that we need, but we don't talk about it. So in this segment, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to talk about real estate. And again, I have my cousin on, which is Theresa Gardley. Hi, cousin.
Hello.
So everyone, this is my cousin, and again, she is the owner and broker of Signature Gold Real Estate Company. So with that being said, I'm not going to take all of the time because you really need to hear from her in regards to how everything goes. So Teresa, go ahead and then talk a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Clearly, and you look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. So, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me as a special guest of Victorious Living's first segment of Empowering,
Yes.
well, Educate and Elevate. So, thank you for that. So, we are sharing among friends, but today, some of you may not know me, so I want to introduce myself. My name is Theresa Gardley. I am the managing broker owner of Signature Gold Real Estate. And I have been a managing broker owner for 27 years. And so I have 27 years of helping people realize their goals and their dreams. So my real estate career actually began as a natural progression when for me for many years of customer service, becoming lead, becoming supervisor, becoming manager. And I was kind of thinking like, how can I really help people? What is my purpose? What is my passion? My passion is real estate. I love, love, love helping people realize their goals and their dreams and getting those keys in hand. That is
Amen.
the most empowering feeling that I can get, just helping people work through the whole process. So, a little bit about my background. I am Six Sigma trained. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. I have a master's degree in HR management. And I mention that because HR management is the specific concentration of managing people, processes, and projects. So what better place to couple that up, and it suits very well with my broker's license. So that I love. Now, it's also when you're in a competitive market, you want someone that is well versed in real
Mm-hmm.
estate, the knowledge, the ethics, the law, which I am. And also when you're in a competitive market, you want someone who can effectively communicate with other cross-functionally with other real estate brokers, with appraisers,
Mhm.
attorneys, banks, other brokers, strategically in a cohesive manner so that when we represent you, we represent well. So my everyday goal is to help people realize their goals, their dreams, and work on the forefront with my clients side by side from start to all the way to the closing table. I know a lot of real estate brokers don't do that, but I do. Hey,
Mhm.
cousin. And also, you want someone, I'm a certified negotiator also, and I'm very competitive when it comes to real estate for negotiating and things like that. So before becoming a managing broker owner, I worked at Century 21, just to give you a little further background, a long time ago. And then in 2006, I opened Signature Gold Real Estate. I rarely advertise because my business is fueled by referrals.
Amen.
So when you treat someone nice, they tell folks and so on and so forth. So I rarely advertise. So I've closed deals on land properties, single family homes, multi-units, um, foreclosures, modular homes, 5+ units, 2 to 4 units. And I've worked with generational Zs, millennials, baby boomers, Generation X. I've worked with people in all generations, and I've worked with people helping them get FHA, conventional type of loans, VA type of loans, 203K, and hard money loans. So during my free time, that's a little bit about me. During my free time, that's a little personal, I love to spend time with my family. I love to travel and visit other countries and explore them. And when spending time with my family and friends, and also my sweetheart, I had to throw that in.
Amen.
So COVID be gone so I can get back on track.
Yes, yes, and yes. Well, thank you. That is a wealth of information, and it's always good to know that you have someone that you can trust that knows the process from beginning to end, but also someone that is going to guide you through it. Because whenever you decide to purchase property, it is a long term commitment. And if it's a long term
Yeah.
commitment, you want someone that understands the ins and outs and that'll walk you through it. Because I do realize that a lot of times when you get ready to purchase property, your man say, okay, do I want to do this? You kind of waver a little bit. You start going like, yay,
Yeah.
I'm excited. Then it's like, wait, I'm ready to pull back. I'm ready to pull back. And then you need someone to kind of guide you and coach you through it. So I appreciate the level of experience and the knowledge. And to have 27 years in the business, you go. I am so proud of you. Like, seriously, I am. I really am.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
our area, we have so many people that are interested in buying property. Hey, ma, I'm so interested in it, but they don't know
Hey,
the process. They
Tabby.
they don't understand it. They don't know. So when you think about the whole idea of purchasing property, if someone said, you know what, Teresa, I'm interested in buying my dream home, what exactly would they need to do to get that process started?
Oh my goodness. It depends on, so just for conversation purposes, if we're talking about purchasing a single family home,
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple things that they can do. So the first step is to get pre-qualified.
Amen.
You want to get pre-qualified because you want to know where you're standing. You don't ever want to be out there looking at properties you just don't qualify for. You don't want to be, and you don't want to sell yourself short either.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you do is talk to a mortgage broker. But even before that, let's rewind a little bit, take it back. Before that, know where you stand, know what your credit looks like, know that you need to be 2 years on your job um, consistently with the same employer. And if there are some differences that we can talk about that because that's not a deal breaker either. I've gotten some people through that was not 2 years consistently with the same employer. But if you have the same background, you change jobs from customer service to customer service, then you're
Mm-hmm.
still good to go. So you want to be just knowing where you stand financially, credit wise, and employment wise. You want
Mm-hmm.
to get your pre-approval in writing. You want to contact me.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
or your favorite real estate broker. I'm not gonna just hog it.
No, they're gonna
And
contact
once you
you.
do, yeah, they should contact me. You should contact me.
Yes.
And actually, once you get your pre-approval in writing, now it's time to go shopping. You can go shopping and you can get your, find the house, but at least you know what parameters to stay in once
Right.
you get your pre-approval, because that's going to tell us. And then, once you come to me, I'll be discussing with you, okay, you got this pre-approval in writing. However, let me know where you're comfortable with being on a monthly basis, because
Mm-hmm.
you may qualify for 250, 225, but you may only want to stay comfortably at about 189.
Amen.
So we talk about that. So we determine where you want to live. We determine your must-haves. Oh, I want a garage, or I want a basement. Oh, I don't like basements. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about your must-haves, and from there we shop for the property of your dream. Once we go shopping and we find, sorry about that.
It's okay.
So once we find it, we negotiate, we secure the contract, we submit earnest money. So have
Mm-hmm.
your earnest money saved up. Earnest money can be, it depends on the amount of the property.
Okay.
The days of $500 or $1,000 earnest money, they're pretty much gone. That earnest money is also credited right back to you at closing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like it's lost or you're just giving money away. So once you submit your earnest money, then your property inspection is next. Your attorney review period starts. The mortgage process continues. You're going to have to start submitting a lot of documentation to your
Mm-hmm.
mortgage broker. And then you have the appraisal. Once the appraisal, then soon follows your clear to close. Those
Mm-hmm.
are the best words you can hear in a
Yes.
real estate transaction. We are clear to close.
I know,
So
right?
once you get
Yes.
once
That,
you get your clear to close, you go to the closing table, you pick up those keys, and you go home.
sounds like a plan. Thank you for that information. And we already have a question. The question is,
Oh,
what is a good credit score to have when purchasing a home? So what would you say is like the minimum, and if there are any conditions that go into that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What is a good credit score to have when purchasing a home?
Okay, so with so each lender, let's talk about that. Lenders and banks are different.
Mm-hmm.
So FHA has their original plans that they lay out, their original guidelines that they lay out. Some lenders come back and they do it like an overlay of that. So generally speaking, you can have anywhere from 620 to a 640 to purchase FHA.
Okay.
Depending on the lender, most lenders will require a 640
Okay.
credit score.
Now, with the 640 credit score, and you mentioned 2 years consistent on the job, right? What are
Yes.
there other factors that may go into that? I know you talked about earnest money. For those that may not know what earnest money is, exactly what is that?
Earnest money is you solidifying the deal. It's not necessarily required to
Mm-hmm.
solidify the deal, but it is part of the normal process. And that is you earnestly saying, I earnestly am interested in this property.
Got it.
Here, take my money as proof of that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. Now, with everything going on, and we're talking about COVID, there are a lot of people that are interested, but it's going to be a lot of people that are going to be filing bankruptcy too. So if a person has filed bankruptcy, how many years do they need to be out of bankruptcy before they start considering purchasing their dream home?
Great question, Terlisa. So banks and lenders, again, are different with their rules and overlays. You'll hear me
Mm-hmm.
talk about that, meaning FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they issue guidelines, but some banks and lenders will lay out their own rules on top of that. So with that being said, if you file bankruptcy and you're ready to get out, let's talk about a Chapter 7.
Yes,
So if
ma'am.
you file so if you file a Chapter 7, once you are discharged from that Chapter 7, and you have maintained good progressive credit for 2 years after discharge, then you can apply for an FHA home. However, some banks and lenders have an overlay rule that say, oh no, they may require 2 years, but we require 4 or 7 or however many.
Okay.
So you have to, before you get your pre-approval and before you start the process, the best thing to do is just have a conversation with the lender and say, hey, what are your rules concerning this? I got a BK, I was discharged, X amount of years ago. Where do you stand with that before you start letting them run your credit and pre-approval process? Have a conversation.
Good.
So that's
good.
a great credit. So that's a great question. That's with FHA. That's with a Chapter 7 at FHA. So a Chapter 13 and an FHA is a little different. With the 13, the borrower has to have made timely verified payments for at least 1 year, although some financial institutions will require 2. So the borrower could potentially be approved for home loan during a Chapter 13 BK, provided that they've made verified on-time payments after 1 to 2 years. But you got to, again, check with the lender. Now, in regards to a Chapter 7 for conventional, then it gets a little different. For a conventional style loan, it is 4 years after a Chapter 7. And for a Chapter 13 style loan, it is 7 years after a Chapter 13. Yes.
Okay.
So you have to think about, if you want to wipe the slate clean, if you're going to get on a payment plan with a 13, or if you're going to wipe it all clean with a 7. With a 7, you can bounce back faster. But you have to talk to whoever the professionals are in that area that can help you figure out what's good for your situation.
Wonderful. That's some good information. Have another question. I knew it. Thank God. So this question is, who is the best to use, FHA or bank? And dealing with FHA, is it only for below 650 or below credit scores? So in your
Hi, Orlando. So I am a real estate broker, but I'll do my best to answer these mortgage questions. So the best to use as far as FHA or conventional, I think that's what you're asking me. And FHA is better. So FHA guidelines are more for the general. They're more relaxed. They will take a higher debt ratio income. So if you have a lot of debt, you may want to go a FHA type of route. If you are non-conforming or different, then you want to go a conventional route. It really just depends on your financial situation. It really does. So it's hard to say which is the best route without looking at your particulars.
That's a good question and a good explanation. Now, as the 27-year process of being in business, I know you've had your ups and your downs and your highs and your lows. As an entrepreneur, what would you say has been the greatest level of challenges you had? 27 years is a long time for anyone to be in business, and you're still so young, you're still so beautiful, and you have about 27 more years to go. So with that being said, what have been the greatest challenges of owning your own real estate? I mean, you hear people say, I'm a real estate agent. That's great, but you're a broker. You have your own. You employ people. So what would you say has been your greatest challenge, and how were you able to overcome that?
Well, you're right. I am a managing broker. Right now, I don't have anyone reporting to me. At one point, I did have 21 agents reporting to me. And it actually is a great, great, awesome feeling of accomplishment for me. The challenge that I did have when I had people reporting to me was just helping them get the level of engagement, or get the level of match the same level as me with learning, training, following up, treating customers right. Those things were a challenge because you have people with their own minds, their own thoughts, their own ideas, and their passion may not match your passion. So, interviewing and finding those people or the right candidates to bring on to the team. what I want to say is that me, in real estate, I'm blessed. I must say that I'm really blessed to represent a lot of wonderful clients.
Mm-hmm.
The clients who have become repeat clients, they've referred their friends, their family, their co-workers of all nationalities.
Amen.
And so with that, um, this is my passion, it's my purpose. And so to me, it doesn't feel like work at
Mm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work at all. I'm up all times of the night, and sometimes my sweetheart is like, turn the phone off,
Right.
shut it down.
Right.
And you know, it's challenging. That is also a challenge, learning the balance of it. But sometimes you work with other real estate brokers who are kind of mean spirited, not
Yes.
professional,
Yes.
condescending, and you know, they're not doing anything but, you know, creating a disservice to their client because no one wants to work with them. So you see
Right.
that name come across, it's like, oh, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. Yeah, but I have to say overall, I feel completely blessed, you know, to have the great circle of influence that I've been able to reach. And just because I don't, like I said, I don't market, you know, my business is fueled by referrals, and it
Mm-hmm.
has been, and it's very.
That's an awesome position to be in. I remember when Wayne and I were looking for the property that we're in now, we went through, I would say, a couple of real estate agents before we got with the one that we were pleased with. So when you consider like people that are their first time buying property, most of the time you may call an agency or you may not have a particular person to speak with. So, what would you say are some red flags as people are looking for a real estate agent? What are some particulars that the real estate agent should be showing or should be coming forth with?
Well, you should get an immediate response, no matter how busy they are. If they're
Mm-hmm.
super busy, they should have a team. Um, and the red flags are no facts. The red flags are pushy, not listening. Those are red flags when you're dealing with someone that's there to service you. So those are folks that you want to avoid. Oh, I'm only going to show you 3 houses and that's it.
A little bit. Can you repeat what you just said? Just a
Yes.
little bit. Are you okay? Go. That's better. So you were saying you were talking about the red flags. Other are some reasons why you should say, you know what, you need to go to another a person or they should seek someone else.
Someone that will show you 1, 2, or 3 properties and say you need to choose from these. I'm not showing you anything else. I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, when they would come to find me and go, well, you know what, my uncle told me about you, or my aunt told me about you and said that I should use you. And I would find out how far they've been in the real estate process. And then they would say something like, well, you know, they told me that, you know, I have to purchase one of the properties that they have shown me. So
Okay.
when an agent is steering them, and telling them that they have to make a choice, that's not a good thing.
Okay. Now, if they start the process with one agent, are they necessarily committed to that particular agent or can they go to someone else? Because I've heard a lot of times where people will say, well, I started the process with this person, so I want to continue it, even though the person that they're with is not giving them the best service.
Yeah. There are agency agreements. If the buyer has signed an agency agreement, then they are committed. But if they have not, no, they can move on.
Okay. Okay. Now, for someone that is just brand new to this and they have all of the necessary requirements, they have the time in on their job, they have the credit score, they are ready to go. From your perspective, would it be best for them to purchase as a first piece of property a building or a actual single family home?
It really, really depends on what their goals are,
Okay.
because let's talk about owning versus renting. And you're breaking up a whole lot. Can you see me?
I see you. Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. So owning versus renting. So depending on their goals,
Hmm.
um, you can own and pay, and build equity and also create wealth for yourself, or
Hmm.
you can rent and pay someone else's mortgage and also give them a profit. So it just depends on what, someone wants to do. If you want to, have a house and all the responsibilities that come with the house, then you want to buy a house. Let's say if somebody's getting married and they want a house. So they don't want to be bothered with tenants or things like that, then get a house. But if they want to, create some place or live and also draw income, then
Hmm.
buying a building is going to be a better option.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, I have another question. So, you know how I've heard before where if you were paying rent and then it's time for you to show that you have been making monthly payments. If a person is looking to purchase property and they're paying rent, should they pay rent with a money order or a check to show that they've been paying rent on time? How does that process work?
Oh, everything is trackable nowadays with the electronic
Mhm.
ways to pay rent. Everything is trackable, and they can ask for like a rent roll, or they always should get a receipt for sure. Get a receipt to show because the mortgage company is going to ask for that.
Is it a certain amount of time? So should they have been renting a year or renting 2 years with proof that they've been paying rent consistently? How does that work?
No, no. Let's just say someone is moving out of their parents' house and going to buy a house. They have
Hmm.
no way to prove that they've been paying rent, so that's not a requirement
Good.
to purchase property.
Good, 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 good. Now, the other is when we talk about the ideal of having money, I know we talked about earnest money, but what about the down payment? Is there a percentage that you could say like a 5% is a required of a down payment or 10% is required? And then two, do you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank that is just sitting there, so to speak? Because I've heard that as well.
So let's talk about like first time home buyers we can talk about that again. Generally, and I'm going to stress
Hmm.
generally you would need a 620 to 640 credit score, 2 years on your job, enough money saved up for your down payment and closing costs. So for
Got
FHA, the down payment is 3.5% of the
it.
purchase price. And for conventional, it could be anywhere from 3% to 20%.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, just depends on your specific scenario, your
Hmm.
specific financial overview, and your debt ratio income has to be below 41%. So if you have car payment, credit cards, things like that, it cannot be over 41% of what you're trying to purchase. And you have to budget for extra costs such as the inspection, the appraisal, and things of that nature.
Okay. And generally, when we talk about inspection, we talk about appraisals. Generally, how much does those, because they're out of pocket, you're paying for them. So, generally, how much are they?
It depends on the company that you use. Inspections for a single family house can be anywhere from 350 to six, seven, $800, depending on the square footage.
Got it.
And for multi-units, they start at about five, $600.
Nice. Nice, nice. And then what about the appraisals?
Appraisals, you know, those are kind of different. Right now, we're in a very, very competitive market.
Hmm.
Appraisals, I would say, I'm not sure. I don't even want to quote the wrong thing. But
Okay.
so the lender will let you know, though. The lender will
Okay.
let you know what that cost is before you incur the cost.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Now, when a person decides who they're going to work with, which will be you, and you start to guide them through that process. Do you have like the appraisal? So say if they don't know one, this is like brand new to them. They have everything needed and they want to purchase. Do you have a person that they can go to for the appraisal, a person that they can go to for the inspection, a person that can kind of everything that they need, that they don't have to jump over hurdles and try to find it on their own? Do you have those resources available?
Of course. Of course, with the exception of the appraisal.
Okay.
So the appraisal situation, because of the market crash a couple years ago, not a couple, but years ago, 2008-ish, what happened is, they took the ability for real estate brokers and banks to communicate with appraisers
Oh,
because
wow.
there's a lot of things that were being discussed that shouldn't have been discussed,
Mm-hmm.
and pressure put on appraisers to come in at this price, that price. So with that being said, that whole process is a third party, and so we don't come in contact with appraisers. We shouldn't at all.
Wow. Wow. Things have changed tremendously. They have
Oh
changed
yeah.
tremendously. Okay. Well, what kind of advice would you say for someone that, because we talked a lot about the aspect of purchasing, but what about refinancing? If someone was looking to refinance right now, what are some things that they should be looking for? Is it a good time to refinance?
Well, so when the interest rates dropped drastically, they were like 1% and 2%. They're inching back up a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
that created a mass market. So in the summertime, generally the market is hot anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the demand is high, and it's a seller's market. So right now, the interest rate is lower than normal. And I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit. Once it becomes a seller's market and the demand is great, the interest rates go up a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but this year, because of COVID and a number of other things, the interest rates went down. And once they did, it created such a hot market. We are busy, busy, busy right now. My pipeline is very full.
That's a good.
And I'm able to still give that one-on-one attention to each client. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, refinancing may or may not be good. It depends on what rate you are at currently. Because right now I see what's coming through on the pre-approval letters, 3%, 2.87. And so if you're someone that has a 4% interest rate currently, refinancing to a 2.87 is not really going to save you a whole lot of money.
Right.
So it really depends on where you are and where you can be.
Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, for those that are out there, again, this is Victorious Living, and this is the first segment of Educate and Elevate. And I have on my wonderful cousin, Theresa Gardley, who is the owner and broker of Signature Gold Real Estate. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type your questions in. I'm just going to ask her to give us a little bit more advice and then to provide all of her contact information if you are interested. She is my Facebook friend on Facebook, and then she's also tagged in everything that's on the page. I want you to definitely talk with her. She's very knowledgeable, as she mentioned earlier. She has 27 years of experience, and she's a broker, so she kind of knows the ins and outs and can provide you with the truth, because that's exactly what we need. So as we get ready to wrap up the show, what type of advice would you say you have for those that are looking for first time buyers? What kind of advice would you provide to them?
Well, the advice what I would give a first-time home buyer is know your situation.
Mm,
Know that before you even contact a mortgage broker. And then because you want to know where you stand and ask the right questions. And you always want to have a conversation with the mortgage broker based on your knowledge of where you stand financially and employment-wise, credit-wise. That way you'll know the right questions to ask. The first thing you want to do is contact me, and then we can have a discussion. Then I will show you and tell you what questions to ask a mortgage broker of your choice, because you want to ask the right questions, and go to the right source. If I know that a bank has an overlay, let's say if I know that you've just got out of a BK 2 years, but I know this broker has, or mortgage broker has an overlay of 4 years, then I wouldn't suggest going that route. So the best thing to do is just, have a conversation with me. If you don't know where to get started, then I can help you form, a great starting place.
Sounds good. So, if someone wanted to contact you, how would they do so?
Well, they can contact me. My number is public. It's 708-250-8663. Also, I have a link on Facebook. It's Best Broker for You on Facebook.com. It's Signature Gold, but it's the tagline is Best Broker for You. On Instagram, it's Best Broker for You on Instagram.com. That's how
Sounds
you can
good. Sounds
contact me.
good. All right, everyone. So we do have a comment. It says you provided a lot of great information. Thank you. Thank you. So, oh wait,
Thank
someone else has a
you.
question. I see you. Okay, Mr. Stubblefield, you have what suggestions do you have for people looking to downsize and purchase a smaller living space?
That is an excellent, excellent question, which brought something up in mind that I want to share with a lot of folks. So the suggestion that I have for looking to downsize is go for it. If you want to go from large to big, I would say start doing your homework, start figuring out where you want to live, and contact me today or tomorrow.
And that number
But
is 708 what?
250-8663. And then also, I want to mention something. A lot of people are shopping that are veterans,
Mm,
and they are concerned about taxes. If you have been rated over, I believe it's a 75 or above, you can possibly apply for your taxes to be exempt. So that's going to help you out a lot when it comes to your mortgage payment. Because if you're anybody like me, my taxes are more than my actual mortgage payment.
mm.
So that is something to definitely consider. But as I said, I've been in the business for 27 years. I have a wealth of knowledge. Right now, there's a flurry of people out trying to purchase. And actually, I am someone that is working in the Illinois, Chicagoland area and surrounding suburbs. So I have come up with ways to get my clients under contract with that property that they want to buy, the home of their dreams. Even though we are in a multi-offer situation right now. Everything is multiple offers, multiple
Right,
offers.
right.
They're not even going by the market analysis. They're just going up, up, up. And some of those properties are not going to appraise for what they're offering. So, just having good conversations and making friends and just going aggressively in for my clients, helping them get those keys at closing.
I just thought about something because Chicagoland area is definitely changing. As it starts to change, what would you say are some hot spots that you see growing that would be good to buy your first home or to invest in throughout the city?
Woo, that is a hot question. That is something I'm very careful not to say because
Mm-hmm.
I cannot steer.
Got
And
it.
so, what I can say is you have to choose the best area that you can afford, the best area where you feel safe. Drive around those areas at different times of the day to see if that area suits you and your family.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, we do have someone else said best broker for you. Thanks. We'll be contacting you. Now, four, is that the number four? Is it best
Number
broker in the
four.
number four? Okay, for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you want to give your contact information again, and then we're going to wrap up the first segment of Educate and Elevate.
I'm typing it in now.
Okay, good.
Uh,
Got it. I see it.
So it's Best Broker, the number 4, YOU at Facebook.com. And it's also Best Broker for You, the number 4, and you at Instagram.com. So it's the same tagline for Facebook and Instagram.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, my beautiful, powerful cousin, for coming on to the very first segment. I am almost certain that you provided a lot of wisdom and insight in regards to how to purchase property. Again, if anyone have any questions after the show, feel free to reach out to her. This is the very first segment of Educate and Elevate, empowering everyone with knowledge and understanding. I am starting to look for business owners that are wanting to come on the show and to talk about, just as my cousin did, the process of getting started in the business, the types of services that you offer, so that we could start bartering, so we could start helping, and we could start building each other's business, more so to provide
Amen.
knowledge. So many people, and I'm going to say even for myself, wanted to start a business but had no one to talk to, or those that were in business were not giving up information. They were not trying to give you the process, and they made it very difficult. Now that's over with this show, this is what it is about. It's about us gaining an understanding of what we need to do to go through the process, and it's about us helping each other be successful. So again, I want to say thank you for participating in the very first segment. I hope that you learned something. If you know
Thank
for a
you.
say have a business, that's definitely talk to find out if you're a good fit for this show, and we will go forth. Again, thank you for everyone that attended. If I did not call you by name, I love you and I appreciate you. And this is the end of our first segment. And again, cousin, I pray that everything you lay your hands to will continue to be blessed, and that God is
Thank
increasing you more
you.
and more, and that you have so much business that you don't know what to do with in the name of Jesus. So
Thank you,
I love you
Jesus.
so much, and
Thank
I
you.
more than you know. So everyone, thank
Thank
you so much
you.
for participating. We love you for this first segment, and we will be doing this again next month. So let me know, businesses. I'm looking for you. I'm gonna start calling you out if I have to, but we're going to do this because our community needs it the most. Thank you, everyone. We love
Amen.
you.
Amen.